remarks before the nomination. I want to thank each of you, the committee. I want to thank the officers of this body. I especially want to thank the county chairs, of which I used to be one. I want to thank the county clubs across the state. I used to be an officer and a president of one of those too. I especially want to thank the myriads of candidates at every level over the past 15 years that I've been involved in the party leadership, that have put their life, their fortune, their reputation, and their plots and blunders on the ballot for everybody to see, whether they won or whether they lost. They facilitated democracy. I here today reflect, I haven't added the miles up, but I think I've driven to the moon and back. I've recruited literally hundreds of candidates. I've driven 200 miles one way to meet with less than a dozen people on many nights and weekends away from my family. I think I've logged thousands of phone calls, and as Head General said, I have begged for funds every day since I've been in this position. It's not easy. We've held so many events, conventions, and elections. We've massaged a lot of bent egos. We've tried to apologize for broken protocols. I think I've traveled to every courthouse and been in the State House and been in Q.D. Adams' doghouse. In the past 25 years, I've chaired my father's last 3 campaigns for state representative. I have been a club president, county chair, campaign manager. I've been a congressional nominee twice. I've been chairman of this party on 3 different occasions. And I was a founding executive director of the state's conservation lobby, which is now Conservation Alabama. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired. I want to especially thank and ask Jim Spearman and to come up here and let me shake his hand. I would have quit many times if it were not for this gentleman. When you call Jim's cell phone and it's before 9 o'clock at night, he's still at the party office at his desk. I want to thank Brandon Walden, and Brandon does it all at the party, and he's loyal and dedicated. I don't know how many of you remember the hit series MASH. But he is the radar of the Democratic Party. If you want the file, if you want to know what the rules are, if you want to know where something's buried or how much money you've got, you go to Brandon, you go to radar, he knows it all. And the unit would not operate without Brandon. I want to thank Felix Parker and Kit and the many staff that have come before. One of my greatest thrills has been working with young people. That come, they come and go on campaigns with literally some of the brightest and most dedicated people around. She's not here. She asked me if she could come today, and I told her absolutely, but I think it was a bit different for my wife Paula, and especially my father Pete Turnham, who gave me political genes. And I want to thank my kids, Pete Matthew, and Addie, for allowing me to miss a lot of ball games and a lot of school plays and other things out traveling for this party. Just like you, I've seen a lot of the changing times and the cultural shifts in voting behavior of voters county by county in the state of Alabama. I've seen how tough it is for us out there. We all know what 2010 did to us. But we've had some good times too. In just two years ago, we're sitting here and we had 3 of the 7 members of the House. We had elected the 1st Democrat to the 2nd Congressional District since the Goldwater sweep. We elected Lucy Baxley at that time. All 3 public service commissioners were women, and all 3 were Democrats. We've had some statewide wins with Governor Folsom, we elected the first woman to the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, Sue Bell Cobb. We have seen Susan Parker rise and win elections statewide, and fielded incredible candidates, whether they got the majority or not. This party has fielded incredible candidates, and that's not an easy task, because many of these candidates know how tough it is on a statewide ballot. But I can tell you that getting the 42 to 48% of the margins that we got in some of these races was tough in 2010, but we're not out. It's a flip of about 70,000 voters one way or the other, and we would have won many of those races, and we will again. As we said, there were 850,000 people that applied for food stamp assistance, adults that are on the rolls in Alabama. Only 828,000 voted to nominate Robert Bentley for governor. So we can see some of the magnitudes of the people that are hurting. I think the shifts of people that are hurting make politics in these days extremely volatile. The wrath that they took out on Democrats in 2010 will be meted out on Republicans if they do not heed the wishes and the aspirations of the people of America and the people of Alabama. There are a lot of us left, and more voters are saying they're not Democrats or Republicans, but they're independent voters, and we have to understand, as Representative Hubbard did, how we speak to those voters. Each of us are here today. We pay our own money to be here. Each of us is invested in this party, and we've got to invest more. As Ed Gentle said, the ways of doing raising money for political parties is now inexorably changed. And we've got to ask each of you to step up financially and take more ownership of this party. We've got to have new faces, and we're going to have a great one today, new methods and new messages. And I'm an Alabama Democrat, and what happens at the national level, you cannot isolate politics in this age of technology. I'm confident that Judge Mark Kennedy is going to be an outstanding chairman, and I fully support him. Mark and I have had many discussions and meetings, and I am extremely proud that he and his family, and his wife Peggy and his family have allowed him to step into the spotlight and do this. It's going to be a grueling task for him in the days ahead, and he needs your prayers and your support, and please be there for him. I'm proud that even in the midst, and some of these I think we're suspect, obviously, but even in the midst of the scandals, the indictments and the corruption, where both Democrats and Republicans were involved, this institution has never been implicated in one single episode of malfeasance. And I think that all of us should give ourselves many times that means going without a contribution, many times that means going without some respect, and many times it means somebody talking about you. But we're here today, and this party is clean. We're down, but we're not out. We're bruised, but we're not broken. We're disappointed, but we're not discouraged. And as you elect your new chairman today, get behind him and support him. Let's don't let trivial disagreements divide us. Let's criticize and love without castigating the character of others. We will all rise together, or we will fall independently if we succumb to internal rivalry and bitterness that's beyond repair. The people of Alabama need a strong, vibrant, and winning Democratic Party to protect their liberty, their lives, and their future. Please don't let them down. Bestowed upon me these past years. May God bless you and the Alabama Democratic Party. Thank you.